In this video, we're going to be working on this 1998 through 2010 Volkswagen Beetle. We're going to be replacing the starter motor, which is located in front of the transmission on the driver's side underneath the car. Let's get into it. Lift the battery cover. I'm going to disconnect the negative terminal first using a 10mm wrench. Take that off, take the negative cable off. Now you can take the positive cable off the same way, using the 10mm wrench. Loosen that up. You should have a little cap right here. You want to pop that off. You can use the straight blade screwdriver. Pop that off. This vehicle doesn't have that. Then you want to go grab that hook right in the hole right there and just pull it straight out. It's just clipped on right in the middle there. Take the wheel lock key, find which one is the wheel lock. Using a 17mm socket, take that out. And go around, take the other lug nuts off. Before we take the last one off, I'm just going to hold the wheel on so it doesn't fall. Take that off. And then take the wheel off. We're going to disconnect this connector right here. Just push down on the two terminals, or on the clip. There we go. Disconnect that connector. I'm going to have to take this cover off. You can use a pick or a screwdriver and slide that off. Using a 13mm socket, loosen up that nut. And slide that cable off. Now we're going to take this nut off here. On this, there's a bracket underneath it. You want to use a 13mm socket. Loosen that up. Now move the bracket off that stud, and you can move it out of the way. Now I'm going to remove that stud using an 18mm socket. All right, take that bolt out. I'm going to take the inner fender well out using a T25 socket. Take all these screws out. They're all around the inner fender well. You could just take the front half out and just move it to the back, but I'm going to take the entire thing out. And slide that right out. Using a 13mm socket, I'm going to go right down here, a long extension. Take that nut off that bracket right there. Right here, where the power steering reservoir is, there should be a 10mm bolt. Use a 10mm socket. Take that out. This vehicle doesn't have it. There's another bolt down here. Use that same 10mm socket. Remove that bolt. Just going to use a bungee, get this out of the way. There's a rubber grommet right here. Just use a trim tool. Just pop off the cover. And slide this piece out of the way. There's a few bolts right here, here, and then on the other side of there. Use a 10mm socket, take those out. Now we're going to take this lower part of the tray out. There's 4 bolts in there. You want to use a 10mm socket. Take those out. That's all of those. Take those all out. And take this bolt out right here. There's a little push pin right here. Just use some needle nose pliers. Push it in. You can grab the tray. I'm just going to wiggle it towards the center of the vehicle. And the tray comes right out. This wiring harness right here clips into that bracket. I'm just going to use some wire cutters. Just be careful of the wires. You don't want to cut the wires. There's just a wire tie right here. Just got to cut that. And this connector right here, you want to slide this out of the way. And just slide this bracket off. We can slide the bracket forward and get it out of our way so we can access the bolt behind it. There we go. Just pull that up out of the way. Now using an 18mm socket, we're gonna take that bolt out, get that lined up. I'm just gonna hold the starter when I take that bolt out. Take the bolt out. You can grab the starter. You can take the starter out from up top if you want, but it does come out this way also. And just slide it down. Get it lined up. And we'll get the bolt started. The top bolt, you have to get the bolt started first through the transmission, and then it'll slide through and then bolt into the engine. And snug those down. Now we'll put this bracket on over the stud. So just rotate this. Back the way it was. And we'll slide it over that stud on the starter. That's over there. Now you're not really going to be able to see anything. I gotta be able to get the nut on over here, so you're going to have to do this a little bit blindly. Just take the nut with the socket and just get that to line up on the stud and tighten it down. While we're up top here, it's a little easier to see the cables, so we're going to put those on. Get that one. Put the lock washer on and then nut. Snug that down. And take the connector, line that up, and lock that down. And wherever there was some wire ties, you want to reattach some new wire ties in those areas. Snug those down. Now Install the battery tray. Just make sure the cables are out of the way. Just the same way it came out. Just angle it in. Now I'll put the bolts back in for the tray. And tighten those down. If you want, you can slide the battery in right now. It'd be a little bit easier. Next, we're going to put the cover on. This goes right in place here. Slide that in position. Lock that in place, and then put the bolt in. Bolt that goes down here. Get that started. And tighten it down. Next, you would put the battery in, tighten that down, and then you can put the bolt in that goes in for the power steering reservoir. Line that up, put that in. This cover is going to go over the stud for the power wire on the starter. Just push it on, just like that. It'll snap in place. Now put this bracket over the stud on the lower part of the starter. Get that on there. And take the nut, get that started. And tighten that down. At this point, you want to put this shield up that goes right here and anything else underneath that has a shield that this vehicle doesn't have. Now put this shield in place. And get the bolts started, or the screws. Now tighten those down. Now put the wheel on, line it up. Take the lug bolt, get that started. And the wheel lock with the key. Just tighten those down. Now we're going to torque these lug bolts to 89 foot-pounds in a cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. And just go around again, double check. Take the key out and take the center cap. If that center ring popped out, you want to put that back in. Line that up and pop it in place. Then if you have that little cap, you want to push that on. Take the positive terminal, get that started. Snug that down, give it a shake, make sure it's tight. And then you can go to the negative, put the negative on, and the same deal. Tighten it down. Snug and give it a wiggle, and it's good, it's tight. And close the lid.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.